Bad news, everyone. Last night, under the cover of darkness, the Department of Homeland Security announced that it had to disband the Disinformation Board. Was this an act of Ultra MAGA and the Ultra MAGA King? Let's find out. Hello everyone, this is Keith and welcome to the Ghetto Sapien channel, your home of inner city intelligence. So last night, the Department of Homeland Security, the department with the most guns, the most bullets, probably second only to the US military, they announced they had to get rid of their Disinformation Board. So here's what I think is quite telling. First of all, why did they even think it would be okay to start a disinformation board, period, that's supposed to monitor our speech? Look, I can understand the government wanting to monitor speech within itself and to make sure certain leaks don't get out to the public. That's understandable because the press is supposed to be the ones that kind of, bring our attention to what the government's doing. So, again, certain state secrets, fine. We're not supposed to learn about that stuff. But corruption, we need to find out, and that's what the press is supposed to do. But again, monitoring speech within the government itself, among each other, we can live with that to some degree. I mean, they had a censorship board during World War II that was supposed to monitor and control communication of the troops, like saying they're sending a letter back to their girlfriend, which might give away their position. I could see why loose lips sink ships was a big deal back then. Made total sense. Wartime, the government's primary duties to protect the American citizen. But the Disinformation Board that sprung up under the Biden admin, that's completely different. That was meant to, I think, chill free speech among individuals, and that happens outside of the government. We have a right as adults to have access to information. My parents never stopped me from asking questions. Why the hell would I be okay with some adult who's not my parent telling me what I should be able to say or what information I should have access to? I personally find that insulting. But the government, I think, got the wrong impression and thought this would be cool to have a disinformation board because of our recent behavior. During COVID-19 lockdowns, too many of us complied without argument. We stopped going to church because the government said so. People stopped going on vacation. They closed down businesses. People lost their livelihoods because the government said so. Told us to stay home for our own good. And then you start seeing them not wearing masks, even though it had mask mandates. They were getting the disease anyway, even though it had vaccine mandates. And people were just complying up the yin-yang. I still see people to this day driving around by themselves with a mask on. Wow. And if I noticed, the government noticed too. So they picked up on that. They picked up on the fact that Americans were eerily compliant. And that's why I think they were bold enough to come up with this stupid freaking disinformation board. So let's just peel back a little bit and read about what happened. All right, so I picked CNN specifically. There were a lot of articles about this, about the board shutting down, but I think CNN is particularly funny because they are so, they have no introspective, they have no sense of irony, no shame whatsoever, and it makes for the most unintentionally funny articles you could ask for, especially on this particular topic. Because right in the title, to me, the whole topic of this board shutting down so quickly, there is some irony in there, being that CNN Plus shut down probably faster than the Disinformation Board. So right there, you got built-in humor. So the title is Expert Hired to Run DHS, Newly Created Disinformation Board Resigns. And there's a picture of poor Nina Jankowicz. Anyway, so the disinformation expert hired to run the Department of Homeland Security's newly created Disinformation Board has resigned after the department paused the board. Nina Jankowicz, a disinformation expert with experience working on Ukraine and Russia issues. See, right there, they don't. She has experience. They don't say whether it's good or bad, but it's bad. It's bad experience she had working on the Ukraine and Russia issues, but CNN just kind of breezes over it. Anyway, she was tapped to helm the Disinformation Governance Board early this month. The interagency team was meant to coordinate department activities related to disinformation aimed at the U.S. population and infrastructure. That paragraph really doesn't say what it is. They make it seem very innocent, but like I said, it was meant to chill speech, free speech that happens outside of government purview. That's the whole thing behind this. And the reason why, I'm going to try and keep this brief so I don't want to get too deep into the article, but you can read it for yourself. The reason why they disbanded wasn't because all of a sudden they discovered the existence of the First Amendment. It's been there. The only reason why they shut it down was because they read the polls. The polls show they made a massive mistake. You even had like Bill Maher making fun of the Disinformation Board. They have lost the narrative. Gas prices are insanely high. We are in a recession, and it's not officially announced now, but you go to the supermarket or the gas station, you know you're in a recession, full blown. So, and we got the midterms coming up, so this ain't helping. This Disinformation Board's not helping in one bit. That's the only reason why they shut it down. If the people liked it, they would definitely, or just didn't bitch too much about it, they'd be controlling your speech to a much greater degree right now than they already are. One of the reasons why they claim that the Disinformation Board was disbanded was because of too much disinformation about the Disinformation Board, which is actually kind of funny to me. First of all, the name Disinformation Board is quite telling, because most government departments, they're named after the thing they're trying to promote. The Department of Energy tries to promote energy. The Department of Education tries to promote education. Not even close. So my assumption is the Department of this Disinformation Board is trying to promote disinformation, and it was through Nina Jankowicz. There's a lot of articles talking about how wrong she was. I'm sorry if this doesn't look all that hot, because it's the weird software I have. I need to really spend some money to get some decent software. Anyway, but here's just two of them. Two of her tweets. Let's see. The first one, which I think is hilarious. Trump's Kremlin ties don't end at Manafort. This, she claps in between. This is serious, people. I love when they do the clap. I have no clue what it means, but I guess it's for emphasis. Hey, look at me. It's just really kind of corny, especially for an adult to do that. Here's another one. Trump is Pinocchio. What if Putin was Geppetto? American people deserve to know rights, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she's been wrong. And she's been wrong on the record. She's wrong about Hunter Biden's laptop. She thought it was Russian disinformation. She was wrong about Trump's ties to Russia, claiming that he had two servers that were talking to Russia. That was all wrong. And she would have been pretty good for creating and distributing disinformation, but controlling it, nah, not so much. I'm just glad this whole thing's over. I hope this is a trend that we start seeing other departments shut down. Doubt it, but at least they got this one before it really started taking root, because you'd be surprised what Americans can get used to in a short amount of time. Again, just observing our responses during the COVID lockdowns, how quickly we got used to that, at least some people did, should be amazing and frightening to a lot of Americans. So yeah, I'm glad they killed this one before it really got stood up and became part of America as we know it. Anyway, so trying to keep this one brief. That's my comment on this particular subject. I'm so glad again that the Disinformation Board is gone. and I think it's a sign of better things to come. But we got to get through this recession first. So buckle down, folks. Anyway, like, comment, share, and subscribe.